Welcome everybody to Barber Motorsports Park for the 90-something Studios Grand Prix of Alabama. I am Chad Irvine. Here with me in the booth is the guy that kind of helps put on this race today, and it's his home track as well. Brandon, thanks for joining me up here in the booth.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. I'm excited for tonight's race. Excited to be in my home state and my home track. I literally live 15 minutes away from this racetrack. I love this place. Um, and Indy Cars is always one of my favorite races to go to. And so I'm really excited that we're here in the virtual world here.
Yep, this is a look at Kieran Big Dog Forrest currently towards the back of the field. A couple other guys out on track getting out later on in qualifying. Here's Jack Belton. He's got I think, a new paint scheme on his car. He's still got the green and yellow, but definitely changed up how he's running it. So that Norwich City car looking pretty fancy out there. He's currently on his first flying lap. Josiah Wellwood, he had some issues connecting to the session here, and he's just kind of trying to get the feel for things. He's going to start towards the back of the field as well.
Oh yeah, that's it's never a good thing to come to a racetrack and not get at least 30 minutes of practice in before you jump into a Q session.
There's a look at Victor Aldrich sitting on pit road. Jack Belton, he's going to work his way off of pit road now as well. He's got one more attempt to get a lap down, so we'll see if he can't do that. Yeah, Big Dog, he's completed all of his qualifying. He's still out there, though, just trying to get as many laps turned in as he possibly can. Still about 3 minutes left for him to do that. He's currently set up to start in the 20th position. Blake Reynolds, very narrow margin up at the top to Ray Kingsbury, then Flynn Lazier, followed by Matt Kingsbury right now. And those guys have all basically got their positions locked up. We still have to call it provisional as Big Dog noses it into the fence. That's a corner we've seen a couple guys struggle with here today, but looks like the only cars left on track right now are Jack Belton, the guy we haven't talked about much here today, Michael Berry, very known for being up here in the booth as well, and a lot of these guys looked pretty excited to be out there on track.
Yeah, this track's one of the most trickiest road courses there are, especially in the IndyCar. It's a lot of elevation changes and tight corners and sweeping corners and back-to-back corners and just S's. And this track literally has almost everything. It's got like almost a chicane. It's got the corkscrew. It's got a nice big carousel and turns, what is that, 2 and 3. Um, and then you come up that hill and that blind left hand or right hand corner, and but you're full throttle all the way up it. And for watching,
This is
um,
Mike Berry here. He's turning laps pretty quick. He's trying to get his first time lap down. This is his first flyer out there.
yep, as we comes down into turns. I think this is 4 and 5. I'm terrible with corners, but it's a weird double apex kind of corner setup, and you want to
This
hit that.
this next section here, this is where things get tricky because it narrows up a lot, but you want to try to make the dive bomb, but you're also fading down a steep hill there into the right hander. It's a little chicane, but it really doesn't feel like it.
No, it's they call it the course for a reason because it throws you right, left, back, right, and then all while going downhill. At least I think it's 40 feet of elevation change just in that one set of corners. And so it's very tricky to get right. You got to be hard on the brakes getting in. You want to roll the car through all three corners and get on the throttle as quick as you can out of it.
Yeah, Mike just passed by the entrance to pit road now into the front straight with those final couple of corners that kind of tight right-handed hairpin. Um, as he sets a 110 flat, so he's going to go to 22nd. It looks like that's going to be the end of his qualifying as he noses it into the wall. But the thing for Mike, or the thing I was talking about with him, is just a moment ago, you saw him go through those final couple of corners. You want to use all the racetrack out there to the left to get a good run onto the front stretch, and he really was not doing that. So these guys right now just kind of waiting, trying to get things set to get things rolling here as we get set for however long this race is. I can't even remember at this point. 40 laps of racing is what it's been set to.
Yeah, 40 laps tonight. Should be racing just probably a little over an hour lap times in the start out in about the 106s and 107s with your faster guys, and they'll start to slow down to about 109, 110s as the tires wear. This track, each tire is alive just because of the elevation changes and and the different corners that attacks tires all kinds of different ways.
And here's a look at your starting grid with Blake Reynolds on pole position with Ray Kingsbury to his outside. Then Flynn Lazier, Matt Kingsbury, David Adams, Christian Malcharek, followed by Josh Clogg and Cody Cosgrove. Then David Schofield, Joe Branch, Brian Son, and Jack Belton wrapping up the top 10.
And in 11th, we got Brian Sohn and Jack Belton in 12th.
Looks like you might have left passengers on.
So we're having some technical difficulties here with the scoring, but yeah, then Cody Erdman 13th, then Seth Rawls, Josh Mertz, Victor Valley, Alexander Ball, Victor Aldrich, Harley Moss, Kieran Forrest, then Dan Ench, Michael Berry, Chance Manning, and Josiah Wellwood. James Watson did not set a time in qualifying. I'm not sure that he is going to be able to make today's race, but here's a look at your pole sitter out there in the orange and blue McLaren as he races for, I believe, McLaren Shadow is a team that he typically races under, but he's racing under the McLaren banner here in the championship series, and he's going to get set. Just looks like just about everybody is out there, missing maybe just a handful of drivers as we try to get things rolling here from Barber Motorsports Park.
So, Chad, who you got your money on today?
You know, we've seen Ray put up a bunch of speed here. He's won races here on strategy. Blake, we've seen him have some great performances. He's currently set on, or getting set to start on pole. So we'll see if he can keep things pointing the right direction. I guess if I have to make a pick, I'm going to go with the dark horse and say Flynn Lazier is going to get the victory here, starting from the third spot.
Flynn Lazier, I like that pick. He's, of course, a real IndyCar driver. He drives in the
Indy Pro 2000s. Indy Pro 2000s.
Pro 2000s, that's right, sorry. I'm going to correct myself. So, and if you look at his car, he's got looks like he's got a little anime sticker on the side of his car there. That's really cute. I like it. Show a little bit of character.
Who's your pick, by the way?
My pick is the guy I should have picked last week or 2 weeks ago at Iowa, and because he showed me that he really wanted to win at Iowa. That's Ray Kingsbury. I think this is a track it's his race to lose, and if he doesn't win, I think it's a failure for the day.
And by the way, something interesting that I'm noting, your front four, Reynolds, Kingsbury, Lazier, and Matt Kingsbury, all starting on the red side or the white sidewalled primary tires. Meanwhile, David Adams you're looking at there in the red sidewall alternate tires. So that's going to be something to make note of. You do have to run both compounds. It's going to be a one-stop race for all of these guys, and I think what this means is these guys are going to end up stretching out their stints as long as possible. That way they can just take their reds to the finish.
Yeah, this racetrack, it's definitely a big strategy call here for tire choice. The reds, of course, are quicker at the start, but they fall off real quick here. So you wanna be on your black primaries as much as you can. But I don't know. I like Ray's and Kingsbury's or Matt's and Flynn's and Reynolds' strategy of starting on the blacks. These guys are the faster cars in the group, so they'll be able to make it pretty quick on these primaries.
9 cars are going to start on the red alternate tires. That means the rest of the field, 15 of them, all starting on those white sidewall primary tires. As the pace car pulls off and Blake Reynolds, through the final couple of corners, gets set to lead us to the green flag through the final corner. He gets a great jump, and that's not going to leave much for Ray Kingsbury to do. He's just going to tuck in line, and the top 5 or so are all single file by the time they get out of the final corner.
Yep, that was a smart decision by Reynolds.
Oh, and Blake Reynolds is off track. That's going to lead to a lockup there for Kingsbury. And Reynolds, we'll have to see where he rejoins. He's tumbling down the order. And he just got on the brakes too hot going in turn number 2, clipped the grass on the inside, and here is a battle between Flynn Lazier and Ray Kingsbury, and I don't think Ray's going to be too happy about that one. You see those similar liveries on those cars. They are teammates in this series.
Yep, that was a good overtake by Flynn there. Pretty aggressive at the start of a race, but you got to take what you can get here. Clean air is king, and so if you can get out front and take that advantage, go for it. I don't care if it is over a teammate.
Blake Reynolds drops all the way down to 13th after his excursion at turn 2, running wide into the gravel. It doesn't seem like he made any contact with anything, so that's good for him. But up front, it's still Flynn Lazier. He's going to be followed up then by the 2 Kingsbury brothers, and they're battling hard for that second spot.
Oh, yeah, I see Ray being real defensive in those couple of corners. As Matt runs it wide off the last corner, that's going to help Ray just keep that second position there.
And trouble for Cody Cosgrove. He has gone wide and looped it around. I don't see any damage to the race car. We're going to have to see how that plays out for him. But he's going to drop pretty far back as well. Christian Melcharka looks like he has had an issue as well. He is now sitting in pit road. So not sure what happened there to the 33. But he is currently towards the back of the field. But right now it is still Flynn Lazier, but here you see the battle for second has grown just a little bit, about 6 car lengths between Ray Kingsbury and now David Adams, who is somehow snuck by Matt Kingsbury.
Yeah, it looks like Matt made a pretty bad mistake getting back on the front stretch, getting in the grass off that last corner, and lost any kind of speed and momentum he had. And then, of course, David Adams took big advantage of that.
And this is a little further back in the top 10. David Schofield right there in the white and blue machine. He is holding onto the 6th spot, trying to get by Josh Klog for his top 5. But he's got Joe Branch breathing down his neck. And we're pretty early in this race, currently working lap number 2. Looks like we have some more issues with our timing and scoring here. But we'll keep you posted on how many laps remaining as they cross the line to start lap number 3.
Yep, going through the back of the field. It looks like everybody's kind of single file and just kind of starting to get in the groove of making this track. This track is pretty dangerous on the first couple of laps, cold tires, and a racetrack that's just unforgiving.
One of the guys that's been very aggressive so far is Michael Berry there in the 64 beverage machine. He's going to run it, almost runs it wide there, but he's going to keep it on the track. And he was very close to getting by Kieran Forrest down the front, but now he's going to feel a bunch of pressure from guy that we know up here in the booth pretty well, Victor Valley. He's been around around the NASA leagues for years, so he's now Victor trying to get by Michael Berry. You see him there in the Slipstream media car trying to get by that 64. Oh, and Berry goes wide. That's going to give that position easily to Victor Valley. The thing about it, by the way, here at Barber, is it's easy to go off track, but there is so much room at the runoffs.
Oh, there's tons of room. The only time you really don't have room is through these tight S's through here, but it's to keep the cars from going flying, because these are really fast S's, and but usually the cars through there are really gripped up and have tons of traction, so you really don't have to worry about it. But yeah, your long sweeping corners definitely have a lot of runoff. There's sand traps out there, so this track is really safe from races I've been to and seen crashes and whatnot. There's rarely any ever contact with a wall here.
And by the way, David Adams on his red alternate tires, he is currently up to the 2nd spot, so he's picked up 3 spots from where he started. He's still working on Flynn Lazier. Looks like Alexander Ball going to go to his push to pass, trying to get by Seth Rawls, and he's way too far back to do so. These guys do have 10 uses of push to pass. Flynn Lazier up front, he's already used 2.
Wow, I didn't realize he'd used 2 already. That's I don't know if I like using that early. I know you want to get out to a comfortable lead, but you know, we've still got pit stops coming up later here in a little while, and you know, you're gonna have battles throughout the race, and I'm not sure of using them that early.
Our fearless leader, Josh Mertz, he's run wide, and I don't know that he's made any contact. I don't know what exactly happened to him, but I'll have to see. I wonder if I was going to try to go back here and get a replay. Oh, and it was just, wow, that's a very interesting place to lead. He noses it into it. We'll see if we can't go back just a little further here. So this is coming through that carousel that we were talking about. And just okay, so he runs it wide there, slides across the track, yeah, and just noses it into the barrier. So he is now working his way down pit road. Have to see where he's going to cycle out, but right now he's going to take a bunch of repairs. He goes to those red sidewall tires you see there, and he's going to be back underway.
Tough break for him. Looks like he just got a little bit loose coming out of that one corner, maybe touched the grass, got the car sideways, overcorrected just a little bit, which is not hard to do in these cars, and put it in the wall, unfortunately. Hopefully it didn't do too much damage.
There's Flynn Lazier back out in front, still holding the top spot, and the gap has grown to over 2 seconds back here to David Adams. But Ray Kingsbury not letting him get away, even though he is on the faster compound. And then Joe Branch, he's still holding on to the 6th spot. Blake Reynolds, by the way, he started on the pole, dropped all the way down to 13th, running wide in turn number 2. But now look at him, up to the 7th position. He is fighting hard.
Oh yeah, he's no slouch when it comes to putting in fast lap times, and I'm not sure he can get back up to the front, but maybe he can. He may be able to get back with a top 5 finish in the race.
Yeah, he's still not used any of his push to pass. The only driver in the top 7 that has is your leader, Flynn Lazier, and I think he used at least one of those to get by his teammate Ray Kingsbury because they were battling pretty hard early on. But right now, it's still Lazier, then Adams, followed by the Kingsbury twins, and Josh Clogg currently in the 5th spot. But the field pretty far strung out right now. This is a look at David Schofield. He's got about a second and a half up to Cody Erdman, but Brian Son right there behind him.
It looks like he's got a little bit of front end damage. It looks like he's lost the right half of his wing, Schofield has.
Yeah, Schofield now dives it down pit road. Very tricky pit entry. We'll see if we can't get a look here at the nose of that car. Yeah, he's missing the entire right front of that wing. So he's going to have some work to do as he works his way down pit road. So he's going to drop pretty far back in the field. I would assume he's going to change his tires here as well. But look at this little battle. This is Joe Branch right now, and he's still got Blake Reynolds breathing down his neck, and these guys all pretty close. This is Clogg, Branch, and Reynolds once again.
Oh yeah, I'm looking for Reynolds just to sit back here and wait for just a second, let them 2 guys battle out really hard, and just, all right, I'll just mosey on past y'all, and I'll take my 5th place.
Yeah, things getting a little more strung out up at the front. 2.5 seconds now from Lazier to Adams, and pretty solid gaps back as well. Josh Clogg, by the way, he is 4.5 seconds behind Matt Kingsbury, the next car in front. So all this is going to do is build a little bit of a buffer for Blake Reynolds to have to try to make up in some form or fashion. And here you see him trying to make a move on Branch. Is he going to get it done here in turn number 1? He's to the inside. But he's losing the back end there once again, but keeps it on the track. Wow, what a piece of driving.
I don't know if you call that driving or just over driving, but he made it work.
Are you silly? I'm still going to send it. So that's going to move Blake Reynolds now up into the 6th spot, but that did cost him a ton of time back to Josh Clogg. So he's got 1.2 seconds now to make up there. Another battle further on back is right here. This is Alexander Ball. We're looking at the Team Watson Racing 41 machine right on the rear wing of Seth Rawls. And Seth is right there behind Brian Son as well.
Yeah, it's good to see Seth up there. Looks like he was struggling a little bit in qualifying. He didn't quite put down the lap times to, run with the front guys. But right now he's sitting, 10th place?
Yep, Seth right now in the 10th position. Victor Aldrich, by the way, another Team Watson Racing car. He has worked his way up to 12th. This is the battle of the 2 victors between Aldrich and Valley as they work their way around this very hilly Barber track. And there's Victor trying to take as much track as he can. He's going to get the run probably here down the front straightaway. He's going to use a push pass. He's going to go to the outside.
Oh, what a smart move. Take a really, really wide entry into that last corner, get you a nice good run off, hit the push to pass, and make a nice, easy, clean pass.
Yeah, and with as much room that Aldrich gave, I think that was more of just, hey, it's early, only a quarter of the way through this race, so you take the position, and we'll fight it out later.
Yeah, that was very smart by both drivers. Looks like didn't take long for Reynolds to catch up to the back of the Clogg. He's just a couple of car lengths behind him now.
Yeah, he's pretty close to him, but he's only still used one push pass. Let's look at Seth Rawls right now. He's on the back of Brian Son, and he's got Alexander Ball right behind him once again, but he has used 2 push-to-passes so far. The most used by any driver is Kieran Forrest, and Kieran has used 3 of his. He's back in the 14th spot, however. So he might have something on pace when he gets back to the Reds at the end of it, but yeah, so looks like the 2 guys in front of him, the 2 victors, are both on those alternate red tires. But right now, still Flynn Lazier, then David Adams. That gap has grown to about 3 seconds. But there you see Ray Kingsbury not letting David out of his sights.
No, that's really good. It's really good by Ray to stick with them with those on those primaries, while David is on the alternates. But those alternates are about to start deteriorating, and Ray's gonna be right there to pounce when they do.
So it's still Lazier, Adams, and then the Kingsburys, and you see the intervals there, about 6 seconds from Matt back to Josh Clogg, and that's something we've seen kind of in a couple of series here between NASA and Nitro leagues, just because we'll see a couple of cars, whether it's Christian Challoner and Michael Janney break out into their 2-car pack, or these 4 in their little grouping here. Just little packs of cars that really seem to form up with similar drivers on pace.
Yeah, there's definitely a whole wide range of skill level in our league here. I'd say you got a couple of guys that are just really quick in rally. You got a couple of guys who are quick in GT, and you've got these guys here that are quick in IndyCar. It all comes down to, I guess, I don't know if it's more of like a preference thing or if it's just, you understand the car more. Coming from a stock car background as myself, IndyCar, I was actually really surprised how quick I was at Indianapolis 4 weeks ago, until I unfortunately got taken out in the middle of the race there. But I think I had like a top 5 going for me for sure. But Indy is just one of those road courses that I really, really like, and I've always got speed in it no matter where I'm at, what I'm in, or what I'm driving. But yeah, skill levels are wide and plenty. And Seth Rawls loses it and tapping the wall there.
And it looks like he has lost the front right of his wing as well. That's unfortunate for him, because he was in a great battle that we were looking at here with Brian Son and Alexander Ball. So that's going to build a little bit of a gap for Brian, as Alexander had to check up. But still right now it's Brian in the 9th position, and he's got a decent gap now back to Alexander Ball in the 10th spot.
Such a tough break for Seth. Hate to see it for him. As we were talking and going around on the track, Blake Reynolds has got around Josh Clogg and already put looks like a good second on him.
Yeah, we saw him. We saw Josh right there. Oh, wow, what a fantastic power move from Jack Belton. Getting around Victor Aldrich and just pulling away right away. Did not have to use a push-to-pass on that, surprisingly, but he has used 2 so far in the race. So Jack Belton right now up into the 11th spot, and he wants to try to track down Alexander Ball as fast as he can, as his fastest lap of the race is 1.2 seconds faster for Belton than Ball. So he should catch him in no time if he can hold serve.
Yep, I got to brag a little bit on my teammate there. Jack Belton, good guy, good driver, and good to see he's having so far a pretty decent run. Hopefully he can move up a couple more positions. He's got the pace. He's just got to put it all together and try to finish it and get there at the end.
Nope, so right now Flynn Lazier still out front. Lead has grown up to 3.5 seconds, and man, he's just pulling away. He hasn't used any more of his push to pass either.
No, that's just good old Flynn just being as fast as anybody else on the racetrack. I'd say the person this is hurting the worst is Ray, who right now is right on the back bumper of David Adams. So I'm pretty sure he's getting ready to make his move and pounce, but he needs to hurry up and do it quick, otherwise Flynn's is going to run away with his race.
Yep, so your top 5, still no changes there, but the biggest thing I've noticed is the gap that has grown from Ray Kingsbury back to Matt Kingsbury. That's up to 3 seconds now.
That's not uncommon with these two. them two swap how fast they are at different racetracks. Matt's got it at a few racetracks over Ray, and then Ray's got it over a few tracks over Matt. These guys are both extreme competitors, and Ray just took over second spot back from David Adams.
Let's see if we can't figure out when he got that moved on. Looks like it must have been in either turn 1 or turn 2. He is still in line here. Swinging back to there. Oh, he just absolutely sent it up the inside of turn number 2 in a power move from Ray Kingsbury as he is clear and into the second spot.
Yep, just a nice clean move. He had the grip to send it on the inside, and he took it and didn't look back. Try to see if he can put some time down and catch Flynn a little bit here.
By the way, Jack Belton, we talked about him trying to just make up time and power through to get into the top 10. He just used his fourth push to pass. He's got 6 remaining. Kieran Forrest has 5 left. So some of those guys further back in the field just burning them early, trying to get everything they can out of the race cars.
Yeah, when you're back in the pack like that, sometimes you got to use them early just to stay with the front runners, and might hurt you in the long run but it might actually help you.
By the way, this is probably one of the closest battles on track right now. This is Brian Son and Alexander Ball battling for the 9th spot, and there you see that Penguin RC car of Brian. He does so much for the series. He helps put on the Penguin RC Championship, not the championship series. I'm mixing up all my series now. The Arcade Designs, what is it called?
The Penguin RC.
Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge. There we go. Words are hard. Yeah, he helps sponsor that series, and that's going to be tomorrow night here at the exact same track. So get used to seeing these hills, these corners, and all the weird art that hangs out around this racetrack.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited to be in Spark Ferrari tomorrow night here. Gonna be such a fun race. Of course, my home track. I'm hoping I can put myself in the top 5 of overall, and maybe get that overall AM win. That'd be incredible to do at my home track.
You think you got any pace for Janny and Challoner?
Probably not. Those guys are in a league of their own. You know, when you're 6K I-rating in a series, it's pretty hard to keep up with this when you're not even 2K. But those guys put down hours and hours of laps and stuff in the simulator every week. And well, it helps when you actually work for racing. like as I call him, Jesus Chandelier, but Christian Challenger.
Yeah, he's a great driver. We've seen him win championships here, and Janny has as well, mixing up my Joshes. But man, it's going back to this race though. Brian Son right now, he is doing everything he can. It's interesting because he loses a bunch of time through the latter half of the lap, but making it up through turns 1 through about turn 5 is Alexander Ball, just doing everything. You see him closing in here, but Brian's going to find a way to pull away next time they go by the start-finishing line. But right now, it's a pretty close battle here between these two.
Yeah, and it's good to see Brian doing a really good job tonight and running in the 8th position there, or 9th. But good to see him run up in the top 10. Like you said earlier, he puts on our Sports Car Challenge series here, and helps and just puts a lot of effort into helping keep NASA up and running, and good sponsor of the series and league overall. And he's got a great attitude each week in and out, and just happy to see him have a good run.
And by the way, creeping into your picture here, that's Jack Belton. He has worked his way into this fight for the top 10, and we do have a couple of retirements from the race to note. Chance Manning in the 19th spot. He is parked it for the race. He's 8 laps down. Josiah Wellwood, Michael Berry, Cody Cosgrove, Josh Murch, and Christian Malcharik all have retired their cars from the event. As Seth Rawls right now, the last car currently running 2 laps down.
Tough break for a couple of good race car drivers there with Josh Murch and Christian, and of course Michael Berry and everybody else that has already put the car in the pits. Like I said, this track it's a beast. It's a challenge, and make one little mistake and it can ruin your whole day. And it looks like it's done that to a couple of drivers, unfortunately.
Yeah, and something to note, I think Josh Mertz, you called him a good driver. I called him washed up. He belongs retired and in the booth for the Rallycross series. It's about all he's good at.
I will second behind that with you. I don't know. I don't know what's happened to him. He used to be one of the fastest guys I know, especially in a rallycross car, and even in road course racing, he was always quick. He used to run a couple of road course races with us at Solstice Racing, the old NR 2003 league I used to help run. And anytime we went to a road course, he would jump in the car and give it a go. He couldn't keep up with me, but that was stock cars, so I kind of had a little leg up in that game.
By the way, David Adams, we talked about him being on those red alternate tires. He is dropping like a rock. We saw Ray get by him, but now Matt and Blake Reynolds both just got by him. He's back down to the 5th spot. His lap times have fallen considerably. His last lap was a 110.7. Meanwhile, everybody in front of him, Matt Kingsbury and Blake Reynolds both ran the exact same lap, a 109.12. So he's about a second and a half slower for David Adams than the Kingsburys and Blake Reynolds.
And that's where you see the difference between the primaries and alternate tires. Those alternates are really quick at the beginning of a run, and they'll be quick for 5 to 10 laps, and then once they start to deteriorate, they go away, and they go away quick. You're probably going to see David Adams coming in the pits here.
Look at this choo-choo chain. That's Jack Belton. He's going to try to go 2 for 1 here. Can he do it? Almost some contact. He's up the inside of Brian Son. Brian's going to lose a 1 spot. He might lose a 2nd here to Kieran Forrest, as those guys are side by side. And Jack Belton wants to get Alexander Ball as well. He tried to get both of them there, and he's right there trying to just bide his time, trying to make his move.
What a great move by Jack there. Another teammate shout out in the sports car challenge, but I love seeing him having a really good run and making some really good moves. He's got pace to definitely finish in the top 10, and if he can just keep this kind of pace and keep this kind of drive up, he's gonna definitely finish there.
And a bunch of guys now returning down to the 108s. Flynn Lazier last time by 108.7. Ray Kingsbury with a 108.5. These guys, though, still on the white tire, the white primary compound. They've just crossed halfway through this event. So Flynn Lazier and then the Kingsburys and Blake Reynolds now up into the 4th spot. We'll keep you posted on that because we might have a nice battle here in a couple of laps between Kingsbury and Reynolds.
And Ray just came down pit road.
We'll see how his stop goes. Very slow down pit road as he now is blinking just a little bit as well. Hopefully that's an issue that's going to get resolved by his network because you don't want to see, we've seen connection issues kind of hamper a couple guys. Did he go too far through his box? No, he did not. So he's going to change. There you see him up on the jacks for red alternate tires now as we cross halfway, and he's going to be in and out. David Adams does come in right behind him as well. He's going to switch to the primaries.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was a scheduled pit stop. I used to see Seth Rawls. He just went off the racetrack again. I'm not sure if this was a scheduled pit stop or not, or if he came in because he had to. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, Cody Erdman, by the way, he's now in pit road as well. He's going to switch from the reds to the whites. And yeah, 20 laps, the tire fall off is great that we saw from David Adams over his first. And Ray Kingsbury, by the way, just used his first 2 push to passes. He's going to push very hard now that he's on these red alternate tires, trying to get the most out of these tires. Surprised he's used 2 of them already, though. He probably would have wanted to wait to get these tires up to temperature.
Yeah. Let's see what Ray can do.
This has to be scheduled pit stop from Ray because Matt Kingsbury just worked his way down pit road as well. I think that these guys realize that they're going to need some speed to try to catch Flynn Lazier.
Oh, maybe, but pitting earlier than Flynn though might be a bad thing because.
Well, it's like the undercut we see in Formula One all the time. You're going to get these early fast laps to try to make up time and see if you can't catch Flynn out to dry towards the end of this race. Just going to have to wait and see how it plays out for him.
Yeah. Looks like Matt's caught behind a little bit of traffic there in front of him.
Yeah, that's Joe Branch right in front of him. As he is yet to make his pit stop, but he is circled up to the 5th spot. Can Ray get a move done? He's probably going to have to dispatch of him soon, as he's going to. Yep, as he's sending up the. That's not a normal passing zone, but he absolutely sent it there, and he got the move done.
Well, fresh tires versus old tires there. You sometimes you just, when you're stuck behind somebody like that, you just have to make a move. You have to make a move quick, and because you don't want to lose any time.
Your leader down pit road, Flynn Lazier working his way down. He is in his pit box, and he's up on the jacks. Going to switch over to the red alternate tires. That's going to give the lead all over to Blake Reynolds. Blake, I would expect him to have to stop here pretty soon as well, as Josh Clogg is up into the 2nd spot.
Yep, looks like I don't think Clogg has came down pit road yet. So
He has not.
Okay, yeah. So he's going to stay out on those primaries as long as he can, which is something I would do myself.
And by the way, we talked about trying that undercut for Ray Kingsbury. That gap from him to Flynn Lazier is down to about 2.5 seconds. It was about 5 before he came down pit road.
Yeah, it was just right at 4.5. So if he undercut and made up like about 3 seconds, and then that was a pretty good move there.
Yeah, their pit lane times were 0.3 of a second faster was Ray Kingsbury, 30.1 compared to 30.4 for Flynn. So he's going to have to work his way up through traffic. He's made up some time, but can he do even more on the Reds? Blake Reynolds now down pit road.
Yep, he stayed out. Looks like he led maybe a lap or 2 there. Now he's down pit road. See where he comes out at the end of this.
Yeah, and there you see Flynn Lazier getting by Blake Reynolds. He's going to get back up to the 2nd position as Josh Clogg's still electing to stay out as long as he possibly can.
Yep, and I like that strategy. This is something that I would probably do. I'd want to stay on those primaries as long as I possibly could.
And there you see Ray Kingsbury dispatching of. That's one of the Team Watson racing cars. Is that? I think that's Josiah Wellwood.
That's Victor Aldrich.
Or sorry, Victor. I'm mixing up all my Team Watson racing cars. Josiah has retired from the race.
Yeah. Well, there's so many brightly colored cars on this racetrack. It's hard to keep up with all of them. Everybody's just trying to outdo everybody with how crazy can our car look.
Yeah, that purple, or I guess magenta, teal, and yellow are the home colors of Team Watson Racing. If you see those colors, it's one of the. There you see that, by the way, a sharp corner in the pit entry. It's very difficult to get that at a decent speed because you don't have to slow down until after it. But there you see Josh Clogg working his way down pit road, and he's going to lose spots to both. There you saw Kingsbury and Lazier fly by. Blake Reynolds now going to get by as well.
Yeah, I'm really really excited to see how Blake Reynolds is going to do here. He's made his way up all the way up to 3rd. He's got around Matt Kingsbury now. He's about 11 seconds back on Flynn. About 9 seconds back on Ray.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Kingsbury right there to pressure Blake as well if something happens to him. So no, he's Blake's back up into the podium. He's had quite the drive so far.
He made that mistake early and has put the hammer down and just made up time, which is absolutely insane when you come to think about it, because you got David Adams and Joe Branch and everybody else up here like Josh Clogg, and these guys aren't slow. This just tells you how quick Blake Reynolds is at this racetrack.
Yeah, let's look at Alexander Ball. He just worked his way off of pit road. He is up into the top 10 right now. Jack Belton, the car in front of him, he's got about 4 seconds or so, the gap between the two of them. Field pretty well strung out right now. Not too many close gaps between cars. Let's go back up.
That's something that this racetrack produces. It's such a challenging road course that you make one little mistake in one corner and it'll cost you a bunch of time, and one mistake here, one mistake there by somebody else, and you'll get cars completely all spread out. You see this a lot, and actually in the IndyCar series, you'll see you'll have like Will Power up front, and then you know, he'll be out to a 5-second lead over somebody else, and they'll be out with the 5 seconds over third place, and it's you think it's like a boring race, but it's actually not. It's this race. All the IndyCar drivers talk about this racetrack, and I remember the first time they came here, they did a lot of interviews with all the drivers, and every single one of them loved the racetrack. They said it was so different and so challenging, but also so much fun. You did not hear one negative comment about the racetrack, and the
If I had to
just
make a
the
negative comment about it, I have to say it's in Alabama.
you know what? Screw you.
Oh, I see how it is.
Uh,
By the way, we were talking earlier about push to pass for these guys. Jack Belton, he has used all 10 of his. Kieran Forrest has used 8 of his. Meanwhile, a couple of guys further up, Cody Erdman, he's still got all 10 of his. Josh Clogg still has all 10 of his. But Lazier and Kingsbury, the guys up front, basically all of your top 5 have about 8 or so remaining.
that's really good to see. Yeah, the guys in the back they've had to use theirs at times pretty early in the race. You know, they're racing hard with other competitors back in the field, and you know they got to use them to get around somebody, and just you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, with seeing the top couple of guys still have about 8 or 7 push fast left, you're going to see some really quick lap times. But Lazier looking like he's still hanging on to about a 2-second lead over Ray. Then you got about 6 seconds back to Blake here. Blake is coming. He is putting down some screaming lap times. This is absolutely insane.
Here's a move for position. This is Jack Belton, and he's going to dispatch a Cody Erdman with ease. Cody, though, I don't know if he doesn't have a button mapped for it or something, but he has not used any push to pass so far.
Oh wow, that is. He may not have a button mapped. If that's the case, that's pretty sad. Because you definitely need them.
Yeah, there's a handful of drivers that haven't used any of them, but still, with the most remaining is those guys. But up front, Blake Reynolds, he's charged from 1st to 13th all the way back up to 3rd, and he's only used 1.
That just tells you how good he is in this race car.
Yeah, he's put on a clinic so far. He's turning some of the fastest laps of the race as well. Last time by with a 108.3 compared to a 108.9 for Ray Kingsbury, so he's gaining ground there as well.
Yeah, he is. He has put the hammer down, and he's looking to make up some time. Right now, he's sitting comfortably in a podium position, but you know, second, it's always a little better than third.
And here's a guy we haven't talked a bunch about. This is Dan Ench. He's currently 1 lap down to the 15th spot, but he's one of those guys that'll quietly turn laps and just have a good time out there.
Oh, contact! Looks like Brian Sohn and the guy we were just talking about, Blake Reynolds.
Let's go back into the replay here. Maybe went a little too far back, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there you see Blake Reynolds right behind him. Blake gonna wait and see for Blake. When does this contact happen?
Happens right in the corkscrew.
Yeah, Blake just very aggressive there, and the contact sends Brian around, but it doesn't look like there's too much damage to that car for Blake. So fortunate for him, he's able to carry on. We'll have to see what that does to his lap times, though. We'll keep an eye on that as the race continues.
Yeah, I'm not sure how race control is going to feel about that type of move. I know you're behind lap traffic and you're trying to make up time to catch the leaders, but you've got to be a little more patient than that in those situations, and he might get a penalty for that one at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's a very hopeful move, but of course, it's going to pay off. Here he is again. Almost tried the same thing with Kieran Force. I just don't think he's expecting. He can carry so much more speed compared to some of the other guys through that corner, and he just doesn't expect it.
Yeah, kind of a little cutoff move there against Force there. I don't know if that was like hey dude, you need to move out of the way when I'm coming, or I'm not sure what that was, but I don't think Blake Reynolds was really happy with Force there.
Yeah, the gap up to 7.5 seconds between himself and second place Ray Kingsbury. So that battle looks just about, it could be settled for now, as that gap is just starting to grow just a little bit. Alexander Ball here, he's going to try to get back by Cody Irvine. Cody is seeming to struggle a little bit. We saw him lose a position to Jack Belton. Now he's going to lose one to Alexander Ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to Cody. He's got pace and he's fast, but it's like he's just not. He doesn't have the hang of this racetrack, maybe in this Indy car. So.
And there you see Alexander poking his nose to the outside as he's just going to tuck back in line here. He's thought about making the move a couple of times, but Jack Belton, by the way, right behind them, he's in the 10th spot. So he is out of push pass, not going to have much to attack these guys with, as he just goes one lap down.
Oh, what happened to Jack there? He was.
Yeah, he's been hanging around that 10th spot the entire race. Just with the pace of these front guys, they're losing 4 or 5 seconds a lap. Currently, 8 laps to go for these guys. Flynn Lazier just turned an absolute flyer, still in the 108s.
Yeah, he ran a 108.9 that last time. Ray actually was 0.3 quicker at a 108.681, but I don't know if Ray can catch him or not. That's just. Yeah, I think Flynn's gonna have to make a mistake, and as a real race car driver, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, the big thing is push the pass to see if he can't use any of that to his advantage. We'll take a look here from where's the button for it? If I can find from the cockpit. There you see that little blip off in the distance. That is your leader, so he's definitely making up ground. He knows he's there. He knows he can catch him. How aggressive is he going to be as we come towards the end of this race?
Yeah, I'm hoping he can catch Flynn and at least make it a race towards the end. He's cut down that lead down to a second and a half. He keeps putting faster lap times down than Flynn, so maybe Ray can conserve a little bit of tire here for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, Flynn right now just doing everything he can to hold on to that lead and not make any mistakes. He talked about it. The gap has closed. It was a half second faster, 108.5 to a 109 flat for Kingsbury. Just a little bit faster last time by.
Yep. It's like most of the field, the rest of the field's all spread out. You got Matt Kingsbury running at fourth comfortably with a good 12-second lead over David Adams, and looks like the closest battle right now is between David Adams and Josh Clogg, but they're separated by just under a second.
Well, what about this battle right here? This is Alexander Ball once again, still trying to get by Cody Irvine, just unable to do so yet.
It's probably the closest battle on track.
And there he goes.
There's a good move to the inside.
Just a power move. You usually want to run wide there and use as much racetrack as you can to get the long run down the front stretch, but he's not going to do that. He's going to cut to the inside and get the position as he is cleared by about 3 car lengths diving into turn number 1.
Oh, that was a beautiful move. That was one of those moves where you've been riding behind somebody about 5 to 6 laps, and you're like, all right, I'm tired of riding behind you. Let's find a spot where I can just throw it in and make a move and hope it sticks and pass you so I can just drive away.
The gap still closing, 1.2 seconds now between Lazier and Kingsbury, and that's who you see lurking in the background of these two. There you see Flynn Lazier and Ray Kingsbury starting to make up ground. I think that Flynn has to catch these guys at the right spot to get by. Try not to lose too much time as Erdman's going to let Flynn go, and he's going to do the right thing and let Ray go there as well. So Ray's not going to lose any time as he's still trying to make up ground with the lead now under a second.
Yeah, that was a great move by Cody Erdman there. I like that. Letting the leader just pass, let them have their race, not interfering.
And that's something that's something hard to do because you're still fighting with Alexander Ball for that eighth spot, but it's just one of those trade-offs. Like he's going to lose so much time to Alexander, but now he's just kind of off on his own and can just try to turn some fast laps.
Yeah, it's definitely yin and yang thing there. You want to give space to the guys that are faster than you, but you also want to keep your pace up for the guys that you're racing. Um, just a, but it's an awesome, courteous thing to do. To see, you know,
Yeah.
see somebody allow that kind of thing just to
Har-
happen.
Harley Moss, by the way, has retired from the race as well. He's in the 18th spot. Currently sits 11 laps down. So something happened to him quite a while ago that we must have missed. But this is one of the closest battles. Actually, we'll go back up. This is one of the closer battles on track. This is Brian Son and Seth Rawls. They are battling for position here. That's for the 15th spot. Have to wait and see how that's going to transpire. Kieran Forrest, by the way, he is down pit road. Has he made it? This is his first stop of the race, it looks like. Has something happened to him? Yeah, something must have happened to him. He's spending a lot of time here on pit road.
Oh no.
Yep, he had contact with somebody. I think that's Victor Valley.
Oh no.
We'll go back here for. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We'll go back one more
big
time here.
carnage.
Yeah, so there you see Big Dog holding the inside. Back in. Wow, I thought he was going to clip the grass there. No. Victor, very aggressive peek to the outside. And I think that was just Victor Valley maybe mistiming his move. I'm going to go back here one more time and go to the cockpit view. Peeks to the right. He's going to cut across back to left. Oh, I think that he just wasn't set to slow down for the corner, and he just plowed right into the back of Kieran Forrest.
Oh, such an aggressive move, but that's. Oh, I think Victor's been watching too much of Josh Mertz from back in the day.
A very aggressive move there, especially this late in the race. But Flynn Lazier is still out front, but look at how much this gap is closed. It's down to less than 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, this battle it's heated up big time. Looks like Flynn was just a bit quicker that last time by, but Ray is right there on his tail, and he's definitely putting the pressure on him now.
Ray has had to use a lot of push to pass to get to this scenario, though he's currently got 4 remaining compared to 8 for Flynn Lazier.
Oh, wow, Lazier still got 8 pushed. That's absolutely insane.
And these guys have 7.5 seconds back to Blake Reynolds. Blake has 5 as well, but he is well too far back to get any sort of move done here towards the end.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna bring home that 3rd place podium position, but the battle for the win is not over yet.
Yeah, so Flynn still out front, and that car is just chromed out. It looks very shiny.
It's very chrome. And then you got that bright neon yellow car behind him.
What? I can't hear you. That car is too loud.
I can't hear over how bright the wheels are.
Yeah, I mean, that entire car is just screaming at you as it comes by every lap. The gap is closed once again. Ray Kingsbury did use another push to pass, though. He's only got 3 remaining now.
Oh, he is right on his tail. He's definitely putting the pressure on him. He's hoping that Flynn will make a mistake. But I don't know. I don't know if Ray can get this done. I hope he can. I hope he can make this a great battle at the end. We've only got, 3 laps to go here.
Yeah, they're going to be taking 2 to go at the line, and man, these guys making this race absolutely fly by. Lazier and Kingsbury, though, they haven't. I mean, Lazier, we talked about that undercut. Lazier came in, I think, 2 laps later. Yeah, 2 laps later, and he lost a ton of time to Ray. But Ray he does still have some push to pass in the bank. When is he going to use it? And is
Sure.
Flynn going to use it to answer back, or is he going to use it in defense?
I would use it. I would use it to attack right now. He's got to put fast lap times down just to keep Ray at bay. And if he's not using them now, I don't know when he's going to use them.
Yeah, Ray does not elect to use one this time down the front stretch. He's got 3 left, so gonna just kind of see how this plays out for him. But man, Flynn holding on to the lead.
Looks like Ray lost about 3/10 that lap. Just 2 laps to go. I don't know if he can get this done or not.
Yeah, I think that Ray wants to save what little push to pass left that he has. Just try to, make it take the lead in a spot where Flynn can't try to attack to get the position back. But I don't know if he's going to have enough time to even get that move done if you're Ray.
I'm not sure either. There's so little places to pass at this racetrack. It's one of the reasons this track is so challenging. But if he can If I think if Ray can get around him, he can hold him off. But that's he's just got to get around him first.
By the way, here's another battle. This is Josh Clogg and David Adams. Look how close these guys are.
Oh wow, that's another great battle, and that's for the 5th position.
Yep, still these guys battling for the top 5, but up front, they cross the line now. Gonna go through turn number 2. This is the final lap here from Barber. And it looks like Ray has used one of his push to passes, so he's still got 2 remaining, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get the move done here on Flynn Lazier.
Don't think so either. Lazier put another 10th on that past lap, and I don't know, maybe Flynn conserved his tires for these last couple of laps here.
I just got word, by the way, from Victor Valley. Sounds like he just wasn't expecting the early braking of Kieran Forrest there, which is kind of what we expected. Unfortunate for both of those guys, as they're going to end up towards the back of the field. Kieran Forrest actually, he's back down pit road once again, so he's going to probably come home in the 13th spot, it looks like, as Victor Valley drops down to 17th. But through the final couple of corners they come. There's a look at your race leader. It's Flynn Lazier. And over his teammate, he's going to take victory here at the 90-something Studios Grand Prix of Alabama.
Yep, such a great drive, and that's two races in a row. I've called the wrong driver to win, but
we still have this battle, by the way. This is still between Clogg and Adams. I think, yeah, it looks like Clogg has actually gotten by David Adams, so he's up into the 5th spot.
What a nice drive by Josh Clogg there. That's going to put 3 Spark cars in the top 5.
So these guys still coming across the line, 1 car at a time. There's Joe Branch. He's going to be the next car across, and he is going to come home into the 7th spot, the last car on the lead lap, as we get set for these guys to join us here in the booth. We'll have some interviews, hopefully, with your top 3 finishers. But, man, these guys, I mean, this race absolutely just flew by.
Oh, this race went by so quick. It kind of happens when you don't have any cautions.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch such skilled drivers, just kind of pick their way through the field. We've got Blake Reynolds, who we've seen him be very talented in iRacing. Flynn Lazier, of course, we talked about his real-world driving experience. Ray Kingsbury, he's just good. I mean, that's all I can really say about him. He's a fantastic driver here. We've seen him year in and year out, both in the GTs and here in IndyCar now for the first time. And, I mean, here you go. This is a look at some of the Spark Boys getting ready for their photo op. We're going to see some dual donuts here between the 2 of them.
They might put on a show here for us. That would be nice.
Let's look at Flynn doing his, and Ray's just going to sit there and watch. I thought we were going to get a show from the onboard, but unfortunately, looks like Flynn's just going to park it right next to him. Those guys, I mean, looking good. The top 2 steps of the podium right there.
Oh, for sure. Just a nice, good photo op. Get the top two Spark virtual racing cars together, and these guys put on a hell of a show in the race. And Ray just words are hard. Couldn't quite get it done.
And here's a look at your finishing order, with Flynn Lazier taking the top spot, and he just about by a second over Ray Kingsbury, pushing a little too hard, and lost some time there at the end. Then it was Blake Reynolds, Matt Kingsbury, Josh Clogg, and David Adams. Joe Branch in the 7th spot. That's Alexander Ball there in the 41 as well. That's Cody Erdman, Victor Aldrich, Dan Ensch, and Jack Belton wrapping up your top 12, and everybody else further back was at least 3 laps down. So such a fantastic race for all of these guys. Definitely was a fun one to watch for sure.
Oh, yeah. There's constant battles throughout the entire race, all from the front of the field all the way down to the back of the field. We always had something to watch the entire race. Once again, the Ray Kingsbury Designs Championship Series puts on another phenomenal race.
And with that, looks like we are getting set to be joined for some interviews. We'll start out here with your race winner, Flynn Lazier. Flynn, man, what a battle you had there at the end with Ray.
Yeah, it was good. I think my motor is about to blow up, so I had to turn the field map down. But it was a great race. We had a great setup, and everyone did a really good job of putting the setup together. And it was a really good race. It was cool to see 25. I think it was 25 entries, so it was awesome to see such a big field. Yeah, no, it was awesome. Good race.
Yeah, talk about strategy there, because Ray did pull the undercut on you by about 2 laps, and he made up a ton of time doing it. Was there any pressure there once you realized how much time he was making up?
No, not really. Just because this is such a track position track. You know, if you're in front, that's kind of the biggest thing. But we were talking about it even before he did it, and once he did it, I thought it was a pretty good idea. So even I pitted a lap early, but that was a great race. I think Ray and I spent a lot of time on this setup, and the tire model's been a little challenging, but we had a lot of fun doing this, and cool to see the series have so many entries. So hopefully it keeps going.
Yeah, it was a bunch of fun out there watching you race, and I think we've got a week off now, so looking forward. What are your expectations for yourself the rest of the way?
I think we made a pretty good setup on this. We have a pretty good idea for the new tire model, so we'll keep making good setups, and hopefully we can figure out what this tire model likes. So keep working.
Well, hey, congratulations on the win. Anybody you want to thank?
Thanks, dude. Just want to thank my team, Spark VR. They did a great job.
As Flynn Lazier, your winner here from Barber Motorsports Park, and up next is your second place finisher, Ray. Man, you just didn't have it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Flynn was fast all night. Honestly, I'm lucky to have gotten out of turn one alive. Uh, I think we had the pace to win it, but track position matters here, and ultimately, I'm really just kind of glad to walk away with second because coming out of turn one, I was in the grass and totally perpendicular to the track, and Flynn somehow saw it and moved all the way to the edge, and it would have been both of our nights over. So, pretty grateful to him for having that ability. Car was just so good, though.
Yeah, and I mean, it was such a fun race as well. You started up towards the front. You started second, and that's where you finished. But I mean, there's carnage all over the place, all around you, especially there at you talked about your turn number one, but Blake Reynolds went wide at turn two.
Yeah, going into turn one, Blake ran off in front of me. I realized the car was pushing really early into the braking zone, and I saw his was pushing a ton too. So I just kind of stood on the brake a little in the middle of the corner, pretty much right away as soon as I saw him getting loose, and so that kept me from going over the the big bump that he went over, and that sent him into the sand trap. Honestly, he's lucky to even have finished the race with how far off he was. But yeah, so I guess Blake's misfortune was kind of my somewhat fortune. But I guess there must have been some drama behind me because I heard there was a couple cars that got into incidents after that.
Yeah, it was a big accordion effect there. We got a week off before we go to the duel in Detroit. What are your thoughts there?
Yikes. Um, it's such an interesting track. It's really not made for these cars. I'd rather race Long Beach. We are racing Long Beach later in the season. The duels are interesting. IndyCar does them in real life, so pretty cool that we're gonna do it as well. Hopefully, with it being a duel, it'll keep the attrition rate down a little bit. Um, we'll see. It's bumpy track. Last time I was there, I think I got a top 5 or so in elite, and I started near the back, so that tells you how many people actually finished the race. It's not going to be about speed. It's going to be about keeping the car out of the wall.
How important was push to pass here today?
It was irrelevant. The only time push to pass was relevant was if you came out of the pits in clean air and you just wanted a hot lap and try to over gap someone on a different strategy, which is what I was going to try to do to Flynn, but he kind of read it and got into the pits 2 laps later. So we tried. It just didn't work, unfortunately.
Well, hey, great race from you. Start second, finish second. Who do you want to thank?
The team just put in an amazing amount of work. We started on this thing last Monday, so we've been working on it for over a week. Let me tell you, there's probably 10 hours, 15 hours of setup work in it between a few people. So I don't know how to explain how much work everybody put in. Flynn was on a lot. Josh was on a lot. Trevor, who doesn't even race in this series, was on a lot. Jack put in a ton of laps. He really deserved more than a 12th place finish, honestly. It's just really great having great teammates, and drivesbr.com guys, Spark Virtual Racing, always put on a good show. So,
Well, hey, best of luck the rest of the way. We got 4 races left. We'll see what you can do.
yeah, see you guys tomorrow for Sports Car.
That's Ray Kingsbury, driver of the Spark Racing number 25. And one final interview here in the booth, and that's going to be your third place finisher, Blake. I guess we'll start from the beginning. Talk about your start to the race.
Yeah, I guess nobody knows how the tires warm up. Not even the game does. Just I don't know. I've never understood cold tires. I don't know how they model it. I don't know why they model it the way it does. But we all warmed our tires quite nicely on that first lap, on the pace lap, and then we get to the start and there's nothing. It really bothers me that that keeps happening to me. It's like the third race here in this league that cold tires have bit me, and I just don't think it should, But yeah, I went off. I sustained no damage. I slowed it down just enough. Then they piled up behind me. I avoided that by staying in the sand longer. Kind of had a Colton Herta moment from this year, going down the next straightaway, and avoided. I think it was Jack Belton, but we got clear of that, and then just drove my way through the field on my black stint.
Yeah, and I mean, you dropped all the way down to 13th, and it was just picking them off one by one. This isn't the easiest track to get by somebody. It's not the easiest track for passing, but man, what a fantastic drive from you overall. I mean, what were your thoughts on the race otherwise?
I thought it was a pretty good race. Lap traffic was kind of making me mad. I wish people were more aware. Like, you have an entire straightaway to let someone by. You don't have to park the apex of the next corner and give me the outside. Just a little bothersome there. I don't actually know if there's blue flag rules to this league. I know in IndyCar there's not. Uh, but again, it's just frustrating when I felt like I had the pace to run down Ray and Flynn. I lost probably 5 or 6 seconds just on dirty air or a mistake from a lap car in front of me.
Yeah, I totally understand, but hey, it was a great drive to watch here today, and next time we're going to the streets of Belial. Any expectations there?
I expect to crash. I don't know if anyone knows what the major series is.
Mm-hmm.
I ran a race there, open set, pretty exact car, and I absolutely killed. You know, I died several times. My car broke several times during the race. They gave us two faster pairs, and I couldn't even finish the race. So I don't know what I'm looking forward to. Maybe.
Well, hey, you got two
Maybe.
opportunities. It's a double header, so you got two opportunities to crash spectacularly.
Yeah, so was the majors. It was a doubleheader, and I did finish the race. So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm fast there. I don't have the attrition, but maybe some practice. I'm working with Matt Kingsbury and his group on the sets, and we had a really nice one this week. I definitely had the balance right to my liking for this track, and this track's new to me too. So I was glad to come out and be the pace that I was. But Belle Isle. I just have to learn to stay out of the wall, I guess.
Yeah, and as we wrap things up here, man, anybody you want to thank or anything like that?
Sure. My sponsor or team, McLaren. Beautiful paint job here done by Cosmin Yaneshu at Splash and Go. You guys for broadcasting the entire league put together. This is definitely this is my first time doing like a Formula style league with this kind of format and rules and amount of drivers. So it's really cool to be able to race here. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, man. Well, hey,
again.
yeah, congratulations on third place finish, and yeah, we look for some spectacular incidents at Detroit.
Yep, 10-4. Thank you.
That's Blake Reynolds, your third place finisher here today, and as we wrap things up here, Brandon, any final thoughts? Maybe plug your own sponsor a little bit.
Plug my own sponsor. Well, got to thank 90 Something Studios for coming on board. My personal sponsor, actually my best friend. It's his professional videography company that he does for weddings and other little things here and there. He used to do a whole lot of gaming videos too, but he also has a second channel for that. It's called 90 Something Gaming. If you want to check that out, we play a lot of Battlefield together and other first-person shooters and that kind of stuff, and we have a lot of fun together. But I am his personal graphic designer, so I like to do all his graphic work for him. And not just happy to have him on board for sponsoring tonight's race and also tomorrow's race in the Sports Car Challenge. So big shout out to Mr. Brett Lawrence on all that though. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night's race. After seeing a really good race tonight in the IndyCars, I can't imagine it'd be any worse of a race tomorrow in the GT cars here. So let's just hope we put on as good a show as we did tonight.
Yeah, hey, congrats. Best of luck tomorrow night, and
You can go ahead and congratulate me on my AM win. That'd be
congratulations on your AM win for sure. Yeah. We'll go with that. But best of luck tomorrow night, and I'll be up here in the booth for that one as well. So that's a programming note there. Is we've got that race tomorrow night as well. We are off next week in both the Rallycross and IndyCar series. Or we do have the GTs going to Bathurst as they work their way around Mountain Panorama there. That's going to be a fun one as well. But 2 races off next week. After the race on Thursday, after the race tomorrow, we've got a week off until we come back next Thursday. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow night for Brandon Lambert and everybody here, Ray Kingsbury, Josh Mertz, everybody that helps put these shows on, Kieran Forrest, and everybody else, as well as our sponsor, 90-something Studios, Arcade Designs, for sponsoring the series, as well as our friends over at Nitro Circus for letting us hack their Twitch channel a couple nights a week. It's so much fun. But for everybody here at NASA, ASN, and Nitro Circus, we will see you tomorrow night for some sports cars at Barber. But until then, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.